Hi, everybody. Welcome back to my podcast. It's another video, and I just decided to make this video today after a long day of deciding whether or not to make a video. To be honest with you, to tell you what, earlier today I was feeling a little bit of off, misunderstood, and whatnot, but that just got cleared out. I talked my shit out and I listened, and everything was brought back into balance, which I am grateful for. So I've been deciding whether or not to make this video, but based on the emotional stance I was earlier, I wasn't able to make this video. I was trying my hardest to make a video out of what I think, but it wasn't working out for me. I don't know why that happened, but nothing worked out for me like that. So I said, oh wow, if I am not energetically supposed, or if I'm not energetically, you know, into making this video, I'm not making it because I have to flow. I have to give out something I am living, and it has to be bliss. It has to be beyond reasoning. It has to be something I didn't plan for. It has to be a download. You call it a download. It has to be an inspiration. Fair enough. So I had a chaotic start of my day, but that has been cleared, like I said, and it is giving. Do this video, make a video. This is the best time to make a video, and to tell you what, it is a manifestation of what I wanted, because after trying a couple of I tried a couple of times to make these videos. I tried countless times, not a couple of times, to make this video today, a podcast, because I haven't made a podcast in like days. But it wasn't working. Once I started, I was interrupted, or I forgot something. Man, the idea for this podcast is spiritual evolution, is, expressing myself without control, without reason, without resistance. It has to flow. It has to be what I am feeling, what I love, what I am inspired. It has to be inspired action. We live inspired action, baby. We live bliss. We live a divine ecstasy. I wasn't feeling that, so I decided not to do the video after, trials and trials. I'm like, fuck it, whenever it happens, it happens. And then I manifested. I said, I created this moment earlier, and I said, if O infinite one, O divine one, if I am meant to create a video today, let me do it out of your will. Inspire my thoughts, and then I let it go, and I'm like, bring balance and understanding to what is currently out of harmony. Bring harmony to anything that is out of balance and all of that. I said that, and I laid down, seeing a movie. I wanted to sleep. I tried so many things to numb my pain. Since I wasn't hungry, I wasn't gonna use food as a comfort. So I wanted to force myself into sleep, but I couldn't. I tried music for the first time, or sometimes music doesn't get me out of my emotions. I have to feel them through. I have to feel my emotions through. I have to allow them pass through. I don't have to get involved with them. That's the thing. I have to understand that whatever is going on is my responsibility, and it will go off when I let it go off. It will dissolve into nothingness when I assume it as nothingness. When I assume that I am in the present moment, I am understood, my relationship are in balance and very much in harmony. So everything will definitely come back into harmony. So once I said that to myself, I just let it be, and then I decided to see a movie to distract myself, because most times to go into this deep sleep I have to be distracted with movie. So I played on this movie and I was seeing the movie, and with time everything came into balance, harmony was brought to everything. Everything was explained. I gained understanding and I loved it. I was understood and I understood the other person on the other end, and my energy was, I was excited. My energy was all over the place. I'm like, wow, this is working. And with that vibe, with that, you know, excitement and bliss, I was beginning to feel light, so much light again in my system. With that, I am making this video right now because something happened. One of my colleagues called me, my colleague from the bank, because I work with a bank. So one of my colleagues called me and we got talking. We're talking about the past. We haven't spoken in a long time. Out of conversations, we're having just like a long chat going on, and we're talking about the past and how everything was happening. And then this guy asked me a question after I said in our conversations that no, after I made him understand how much I understood him, how much I knew him. He was so amazed and he said, how did you know me that deep? I'm like, come on, we worked long enough for me to actually know somebody. One thing with me is I connect with people on a vibratory level, on a higher level. Once I connect with you, it's beyond physical, it's beyond reasoning. If you see me coming back to you, there is something about you that is magnetic to me, that draws me to you and entices and tickles my energy in a positive way. So he asked and he was so surprised. And then I'm like, don't worry, I know you long enough to understand how much you are. And then he asked a question. He said, what is your temperament like? I'm like, temperament, you have to be more specific. You're talking about my temperament, talking about my beliefs, like what I live by, what I do, what I can take, how I understand some certain things. Okay, this is the life we live in. You have to understand that you are a dynamic being. You are an indefinite human being. First of all, you have to know that there are so many aspects of you that exist right now that you know, and you know that you cannot know so much of. You understand? So he asked, okay, he said, yes, I mean your beliefs about life. And then I'm like, wow, that's a big one. First of all, I don't have any beliefs. You heard that right. I don't have any beliefs. I don't have one thing or something I think is the ultimate thing, simply because I just want to accept the fact that I can outgrow something easily and in no time. Sometimes I outgrow an idea. Sometimes I outgrow an idea in the same day I gain that same idea. So, if I have a certain belief or a certain limit to what I understand, or a certain constraint, I call it constraint because that's what they are. Once you have a belief system, you don't go past that belief system, which is crazy to me because life is something you cannot understand. Life is something you should not even want to understand. You should not even want to control. You should not even want to know. It is something you enjoy. You know, I said, first of all, I don't have any beliefs. I think a life is to be enjoyed in this moment. Whatever you see right now is whatever you're having and whatever you created for yourself. So you should enjoy it. In fact, I go to the point of telling him, because he made me do this. You only make me talk. I don't just talk out of out of just talking. I talk because people make me talk. And people who make me talk get it when I talk. You know, they have to want this for themselves to actually ask me. So he asked me and said, okay, go on. No, he asked me my temperament, so I was still explaining. I said, first of all, this moment you're seeing is for me is the past. Like what I'm doing right now, making this podcast is a result. In fact, making this podcast right now is a result of my past thought. Remember, I said as the day unfolded, I had a chaotic morning with my energetic field. My morning wasn't chaotic, it was organized. I woke up, hydrated, did my 1 hour cardio yoga, restore and revitalize my body. I had my shower, did my makeup, got in bed and watched the renovations going in my house currently. So first of all, physically livingly, I am organized. But energetically, mentally, I was all over the place today, disorganized. I felt like I was tampered with. I felt like there was something I needed to outgrow. I felt like there was something I needed to understand better. So that was what made chaos happen. So this podcast I'm having right now with you is a result of my past thought and my past wish. So it is a past tense I'm living. The only present moment I have and know is what I'm thinking in my mind and what is unfolding for me. It is bliss when you come to realize this. When you come to realize that this life you live is a facade and a play that you have lived consciously or unconsciously, whether or not you know it, you have lived it in your mind. So whatever you're seeing now, the house, the family, the friends, the job, whatever it is situation you are experiencing in your life right now is a result of your past experience. Is a result of your past thought, beliefs, wishes, whatever you can think of. It is just the past. So anything that is the future only resides in your mind. Anything that is the present is what you're enjoying in your mind, internally, energetically. So it becomes the past if it's expressed right in front of you. It's now past thoughts. The future thoughts are the ones you have and are gonna be expressed pretty soon. Undeniably so. They are gonna be expressed whether you like it or not. The only time you don't see this is when you're caught up in reason. And that's not what my channel is about. My channel is beyond reasoning, like I said, it's beyond a mind. So the only time you're caught up with the past and all of this is when you're dealing with reasoning. When you're reasoning things, you're reasoning your life, you're literally caught up in what you have created and outgrown, literally, energetically. You might not have outgrown it in your physical because you're still living the past, remember? You can't be doing the same thing at the same time and expect it to be perfect. You have to perfect one thing and then the other thing falls into place on its own timing. So that's what it is. So for me, having explained that, we went into deep conversation. I found myself talking and talking, and we were both enjoying the conversation. For me, I feel like he didn't really grasp the depth of what I was explaining. But so the message I wanted him to understand was very much, you know, received. He received the message. He understood that this madam has no beliefs. She enjoys the moment as it unfolds. She enjoys bliss in the moment. She learns and grows with every moment. Nothing keeps me behind. Nothing makes me think that the previous moment is better than now. Nothing makes me think that my now moment is not everything I have. Nothing. It is what I'm enjoying. It is what I'm growing. It is what I'm creating. My life is my personal fucking responsibility, and I take it as so. Because it is what it is. I don't believe there is anything outside yourself that you have to run to, talk to, because that is ignorance, that is stupidity in the highest order. You run away from yourself because that is where the tea is. You run away from yourself because that is where God is. You run away from yourself because this is who everything is. So it is only understandable for you to run away from yourself. But it is not accepted because you're definitely still going to come back to yourself and find God. So I have no belief. I live every moment understanding that I create my life. And in living like this, I create my life in the best way possible. I want something to be in balance. I bring it back to balance by feeling it into balance. I want my relationship into balance. I feel it into. I want to be understood. I feel into understanding. I want to be in harmony with everyone. My health, I feel into harmony, divine harmony. I want to get a certain thing. I feel into getting that thing. Anything at all I want, I feel into having it. I feel into already living it, and it plays out just like I wanted this podcast today. You should see how I was struggling with creating a podcast earlier. It has never happened since I started making videos of effortless living and about this channel. Resistance has never happened, but I couldn't make a video. At the end of the day, I was in this couch trying to wonder why I couldn't make a video after how many trials. It has never happened before. Then I just thought it's not meant to happen. The idea for the podcast, the channel, is that something happens when it needs to happen. It doesn't have to be a designated topic. No, it has to flow. It has to be what is supposed to be passed. You don't have to be begged to be listened to. It has to flow. That is the moment I created. After struggles, I'm like, okay, I give up. I forgive myself for trying so hard that I wasn't supposed to. I was creating resistance in my field, which of course I felt. I forgave myself. I let that struggle dissolve into I let all that struggle and everything I was feeling dissolved instantly into native nothingness. And then I said to myself, "O divine one, O infinite one, O source energy, O God," of course, "O infinite life force energy, let me make this video on the divine inspiration. Let me make this video effortlessly in harmony with myself and everything around me." And here comes somebody that I've never spoken to in a long time. In fact, he even asked, "Jindu, when am I going to be featured in your podcast?" And trust me, we had an unrecorded podcast because we spoke at length. I understood that he loved the conversation. He was like, "Jindu, I don't want to get off this call. When are you going to call me back?" We had like over half an hour, like 38 minutes talk on the phone. And I knew that what he needed to hear, what he needed to understand, how his day was going to be made, was received. And I knew he enjoyed the conversation. That's the magic of it. Being light to people, being a muse to somebody. I am your muse. I should be your muse, not the other way around. I should inspire you to get inspirations and to be the best version of who you can. To get the inspiration of who you can be. No limits, no reasons, no ceilings, nothing. You just enjoy life, flow through it, enjoy every moment as it happens. So all these downloads came from him just asking me, "Jindu, what is your temperament in life? Like, what is your belief?" First of all, babies, I ain't got no belief. No, I do it. But I wasn't always like this. It took me time to learn. I experienced not having any belief. I didn't just get the belief of not having any belief. That didn't just happen. That's not what it was. I experienced with myself, with my being, and I said, okay, this means there's no point for having any belief or taking something as a conclusion or taking something as a god or taking something as what it needs to be or taking something as what anything else is. No, everything is infinitely what it is, or what it can be. So it keeps going on and on. There's no end and no start to anything. So why would I have a belief when that is the world I live in? Infinite possibility, the world of anything can happen at any moment that I cannot control. Oh, this is beyond me. So why would I have a belief? That is ridiculous, and that is sheer mediocrity. That is just mediocrity. I was messing up my words, remind me. So life is bliss. Life is so much more than you can ever reason. Even with you having 100% IQ, babe, you cannot reason it. You can only experience life. You can only live it. You can only enjoy life. You can only enjoy it. And you enjoy it because you create it. You are conscious of its creation. You're conscious of you doing this thing. If you're not conscious of it, then you live a random life. You live randomness. Which is, of course, what 99.99 humans are doing in today's whatever. you live unconsciously. You live completely unconscious of what you're doing. Your day is just autopilot. Straight up random nothingness. I don't know anything. Like, you don't know, but you think you know. That's the worst part. Complete control over what you cannot control. Oh my god. Life is beyond your control. Absolutely so. Infinitely so. I have no beliefs. My temperament is just, so whatever is happening right now, I'm enjoying it as a fruit of my past thoughts, creating the best life that I want, living divine expression, perfect self-expression in so many ways, all the ways as it happens. No control, no bridges, just flow, just go, just leave it, breathe it, exhale it. Life is just so much more than you think, and it's absolutely simple. It's the simplest thing, but you don't understand it. That's because you think you are in control. That's because you think there are limits when they are not. And there are no limits to what you can think, what you can be, what you can express. Why reason when there are dimensions beyond reasoning? It's beautiful. I can go on and on of how pure ecstasy is your normal way of living, is your normal state of being. But this is just where, I just feel like this is where I need to stop. So he gave the idea of wanting a podcast with me, and I said excitedly, yeah, let's do it. But instead of waiting for another day, another time, we had a podcast together without it being recorded. But I learned from it. I learned from the downloads. I learned from my own outpour. That's the beautiful thing about conversations with Jindu. The both of you are conversing. The both of you are growing. The both of you are understanding. The both of you are creating worlds while talking. That's the beauty with conversations of Jindu. There's no limit, there's no reason. You just express yourself perfectly. Beyond perfection, actually. So I'm so grateful today happened. It's been magical. I'm grateful I created this moment for myself. And as always, do feel free to share put down a comment down below for me to answer. Ask me any questions. Let us have conversation. If you have anybody or know anybody that you think would want to be in this podcast with me, and have conversations that will benefit a lot of people and help you live a divine bliss, make sure you share this content to them. Let me next what you want me to talk about. And to be honest with you, This journal, I've had it for 3 years, since 2022. No, since 2023, for 2 years. Since when I wanted to start a podcast 2 years ago. I've always wanted to start a podcast 2 years ago, 3 years ago, thereabout. But I haven't because I wanted to perfect something that was never, that doesn't have an end. As always, perfect something. But I was writing topics and everything I needed to speak about on a daily. Oh, if I'm starting a podcast, I should have 10 episodes already out there. Everything is in here. I have all the topics I want. But growing and expressing myself in divine awareness and in like expressing myself, growing and in divine expansion, I realized if something has to be true, it has to be now. And if it has to be now, you have to do it really and rawly. So I have everything I need to talk about, but then let's talk about what we need to talk about right now. Because I made a video about temperament because it happened right now. It's a manifestation of my wish. I wanted a video and it happened, and this is my temperament. This is my belief. I have no belief. Okay, subscribe to my channel if you're having fun, if you resonate with me, and if you want me to make more podcast videos. For now, my podcast video